viewers have bombarded GT for months now regarding a certain myth we've neglected for far too long. The fans have spoken, and pop fiction is happy to oblige. We're heading back to the Kanto region, a land filled with tall tales about cute psychic little Pokemon, fabled Pokegods, and other rare and powerful Pokemon lurking at the four corners of the world. Sure, the story behind catching Mew might have been tantalizing, but it honestly pales in comparison to one of the most bizarre and ridiculous myths in all of Pokédom, the legend of MissingNo. Images of MissingNo first appeared on the internet shortly after the original release of Pokémon, leading to rampant speculation regarding its existence. Nintendo themselves threw their hat into the ring by acknowledging the phenomenon in May of 1999, which only added more fuel to the fire. Does this rare Pokemon actually exist in the original editions of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow for the Game Boy? And if so, what's the story behind it? Given the magnitude of this myth, we decided to get some help and teamed up with our good friends, the VG Fact Checkers, to see if MissingNo actually exists.
Does the original Pokedex contain more than 150 Pokemon? Can you discover new species of animals traveling along the coast? Does God make glitches? All this and more on today's episode of VG Fact Checkers! By now, I'm sure you're familiar with the myth of MissingNo, the legendary Pokemon from the original games. Could MissingNo be based off an actual animal? Is there a creature out there in the wilderness that humankind has yet to discover? We send Rocco and Sean out into the wilderness to find out. How you guys doing? Look hard. You know, if I were out there, I probably would have found something by now.
While the VG Fact Checkers are busy with their own strategy to find MissingNo, we came across what we think is more reliable information from Pokemon fan site Bulbapedia. According to their extensive research, there are apparently two ways to catch a MissingNo in the first-generation Pokemon games. The first way, referred to as the classic method, requires you to have either a copy of Pokemon Red or Blue for the Game Boy with at least one Pokemon with the Surf ability and one with the Fly ability in your party. When you're ready to go, head over to Viridian City and start a conversation with the old man shown on the screen here. Tell him that you're not in a hurry, and then watch a brief sequence unfold where the old man catches a wild Weedle. Once you're free to move around again, make your way over to Cinnabar Island using the Fly ability, and then use the Surf ability to move on the spaces that appear to be part of the shore. Depending on what name you've selected for your trainer, you will supposedly encounter either a normal Pokemon, a wild MissingNo, or another mysterious Pokemon nicknamed M. The second method might seem familiar to those of you who have seen episode 7 of Pop Fiction. By using the steps we outlined for catching Mew, it's apparently possible to make MissingNo appear. As a refresher, you'll need to head over to Route 8 near the door to the underground path, and it's recommended that you save at this point. You'll need to have a Pokemon with the Fly ability, and then take a single step towards the trainer referred to as the Gambler. Once you do that, immediately spam the start button, and if you timed it correctly, you can access the menu. Select the Pokemon from the menu with the Fly ability, but this time you'll need to fly to Lavender Town and go into the Pokemon Tower. Encounter and defeat Channeler, and then head back to Route 8. A menu will appear, and when you press B to close it, a wild MissingNo will appear. You can then use a Pokeball, preferably your Master Ball, to catch it. Before getting into our findings, let's check back with the VG Fact Checkers to see how their search is going.
Let's check in with our VG scientist, Sean. Sean, how's it going?
Okay. I don't know what you want from me.
Did you find any new animals?
I think that's just a bag of dog shit. My only way back is through that. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. It is very slippery.
Stop whining, you big baby. Aw, come on. All right, enough with that guy. Let's check in with Rocco. Hey, Rocco. How's the wild wilderness treating you?
I don't know. I don't see the coast anymore, and I don't know where our f***ing van is. Hey, I don't know if that's a rare bird or what. No, it's gone. Come on, stay. I don't know if these birds got shit. They flew away. I don't know if those were rare birds, but oh, ew, ew. Someone has been eating in this area. I stepped in a large amount of food.
Wow, I'd start running if I were you.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know how this affects Pokemon.
Well, if I have to teach you how to do your job, we'll just do that
okay.
later.
Yeah, why don't you teach me how to do that? Yeah, because I was your boss once, remember?
You were my boss and are no longer. How did that happen?
Man, f*** you.
Well, it seems our friends aren't having the best of luck. Our findings have proven far more fruitful. Using the classic method, we're able to encounter MissingNo and successfully capture it. However, we wonder why it works in the first place. Earlier, we mentioned that your trainer name is an important factor. The letters of your name actually determine what Pokemon appears while surfing off the coast of Cinnabar Island. During the battle with the Old Man, the game temporarily switches your trainer's name to Old Man. The game's programming then saves the player's real name temporarily to the space in the memory where wild Pokemon data is stored for grass environments. Usually when you move to another area, the data will be overwritten, remedying the situation, but in city environments, like the one you travel through to get to the coast on Cinnabar Island, the data isn't overwritten. Instead, the player name is still stored in the spot reserved for determining what Pokemon should appear in grass areas when you use Surf and move along the coastline. The final piece of the puzzle is how the programmers coded the tiles that make up the coast of Cinnabar Island. Typically, grass areas aren't found in water routes, but the shore is comprised of tiles marked in the game's coding as having the same property as grass. Combine this with the fact that entering a water route won't overwrite the data you've been holding onto since you watched the Old Man capture a Weedle, and you have the recipe for a cool glitch. The game calls upon the player's name when determining what Pokemon should appear at this point, specifically the 3rd, 5th, and 7th characters of the player's name. The Pokemon's levels are determined by the 2nd, 4th, and 6th characters of the name. Other slots could also be used in determining the wild Pokemon's appearance, but due to the 7-character name limit, these slots are usually left unused. You have to have a certain letter or symbol in the right slot in the player's name for MissingNo to appear if you've picked a custom name. Likewise, you can just pick one from the preset names that will also trigger MissingNo. MissingNo's appearance also depends on what character is used in the designated slots of the player's name. If W is the character in the 3rd, 5th, or 7th slot of the player's chosen name, then MissingNo will take on the form of a Kabutops fossil. If X is the character in the 3rd, 5th, or 7th slot, then MissingNo will take on the form of an Aerodactyl fossil. Finally, if Y is this character, then MissingNo will take on the form of a ghost. The classic method of catching MissingNo, also referred to as the Old Man glitch, only works in the red and blue version, but not yellow. The second method, utilizing the Mew glitch, proved successful in not only both red and blue versions, but also Pokemon Yellow. Much like in the way that we caught Mew before, it's the value of the Pokemon special you defeat before returning to Route 8 that determines what wild Pokemon makes an appearance. If the special value of the Pokemon you defeated is one of the following numbers, then a normal MissingNo will appear. If the special value is 182, then MissingNo will appear in Kabutops fossil form. If it's 183, MissingNo will be in Aerodactyl fossil form, and if it's 184, then it will be a ghost. In Pokemon Yellow, the special stat of the last Pokemon you defeated needs to be one of the following for MissingNo to appear. Once you actually capture a wild MissingNo, there are several cool things that are now possible. One of these is that if you use the N64 transfer pack and connect your Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow game pack to Pokemon Stadium and view MissingNo, it will appear as a substitute doll. Subsequently, if you view MissingNo in Pokemon Stadium 2, it will appear as a Ditto. Catching MissingNo will also result in some odd glitches. So what does Nintendo have to say on the matter? Nintendo first made a public statement regarding MissingNo in the May 1999 issue of Nintendo Power, saying, "MissingNo is a programming quirk and not a real part of the game. When you get this, your game can perform strangely and the graphics will often become scrambled. The MissingNo Pokemon is most often found after you perform the Fight Safari Zone Pokemon trick. To fix the scrambled graphics, try releasing the MissingNo Pokemon. If the problem persists, the only solution is to restart your game. This means erasing your current game and starting a brand new one." However, fans have discovered that Nintendo's instructions on fixing the graphical issues are wrong, and that the easiest way to fix the glitches caused by MissingNo is to view the Pokédex data of an official Pokemon. We reached out to Nintendo's customer service to see if they had changed their tune about MissingNo, but the email response we received was virtually the same as the statement issued over 13 years ago. We weren't satisfied with the initial response from Nintendo, so we reached out to Pokemon series creator Junichi Masuda for a statement. Unfortunately, Mr. Masuda is busy promoting the recently released Pokemon Black and White 2 in Japan and was unavailable for comment. However, we were told that he would likely be able to speak to us about MissingNo when he comes overseas to promote the North American release of Pokemon Black and White 2 later this fall. We're hesitant to check back in with the VG fact-checkers, but you never know when genius will strike.
I don't understand though. Has anyone found where Sean is? Or?
There's a lot of flies and it smells like death. So this is f***ing gross. It sucks. I think I'm probably just gonna camp out. What the f*** is that? Okay, it appears to be pregnant, or was pregnant. Okay, oh, f***. It smells so bad. I don't know what it is.
Wow, Sean, that thing actually looks kind of scary. But you know what? I think that could be just a shaved and mutated pig. I think we're gonna have to count this one as busted. Let's check in with Rocco.
A lot of dog feces. Oh, thank God, rescue's here. Hey guys, I'm over.
Hey, who is you?
Okay. Oh, that's not rescue. Ah, that's not rescue. Ah, God. Ah, let go! Let go of me! Oh God! Put my pants back.
0 for 2, cause that's busted.
The bottom line is that MissingNo is the real deal and can be found in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Whether or not he exists in the real world is an entirely different mystery.
And now for our final video game mystery. The most intriguing mystery of them all. Do the massages from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out actually make you feel better? Let's find out. Truth.